Hey boys, so the other day me and my friend were having a really deep conversation, and basically we were just kind of thinking about why we were the way we are today. We kind of just always pinpointed our actions, our behaviors, our values, our self-identities to like experiences that happened when we were really young, when we were like 6 years old, 7 years old. It's basically like when your parents keep telling you when you're young to like eat less or something, or you're getting fat or whatever, and that kind of plays into your self identity that, oh, I'm just fat, I'm chubby, I need to eat less. um, or it's like you have this really old experience from like when you're in like 6 years old, 7 years old in school, and some kid bullied you and you didn't stand up for yourself, and that kind of shaped the way that you confronted all these situations until like today, right? And it was just astonishing to me that something that happened when I was 6 years old, 7 years old can still play a factor in how I respond today and how my behavior is today, in the way that I view myself and the world today. Honestly, it just like really pissed me off because like it took me so much work to get to the point that I am at today. Like it just kind of pissed me off just a little bit that I had to do all that work because of something that happened when I was 6 years old. And I wanted to make this video because when I was really introspecting and thinking about it, I kind of pinpointed to like a few action steps that actually made me go from the person who had a bad unconscious brain, where I was conscious, like consistently emitting bad thoughts and negative thoughts into my brain, like you're fat, you're ugly, you don't deserve this, you don't deserve that. And I went from that point to someone who can actually have actual self-conviction, that I can actually tackle whatever task that it is, even if it might be really, really hard. If you want to just 180 degrees your unconscious brain, then there's 3 action steps that you need to do. The first one is killing yourself. I'll explain later. Number 2 is actually eliminating all the negative thoughts. And number 3 is replacing them with positive thoughts. And I'll tell you exactly how to do each step. And so number 1 is killing yourself. And I don't mean like actually killing yourself. What I mean by that is killing your self-identity. You need to kill your old self-identity. Because that self-identity, where has it led you to? You don't have a good physique. You don't have a good diet. You don't have good health in general. You don't have a good mental health. You're not religious. You're not close to God. You're pretty much degenerate. And if you're not degenerate, you're really attracted to those degenerate ideas of, hookup culture, one night stands, drinking, partying every weekend. And so, do you think that's actually good for you? Playing video games, watching Netflix and just binging and not doing anything for your future self. Tomorrow's you, is he going to thank you for what you're doing today to yourself? Is he going to actually do that? It's gotten you just to go down and down and down. Your ranks, if you had to rank every human and all 8 billion people in the world, it's like every day you're going down the ranks. If you want to actually go up the ranks, right? If you want to get promoted to the 1%, to the even 10% of humans or 10% of men, then you need to kill your old self-identity, because it has gotten you nowhere. And because when you don't have a solid self-identity, then you don't believe in yourself. Then you don't even believe that you can do the things. You don't even believe that you deserve the things. If you don't believe that you deserve something, you're not even going to go and try to get it. But if you know that you are capable of getting this, if you know that you work so hard that you deserve getting this, then you're going to work even harder, because you're like, this is mine. And so if you want the life that you want, then you need to like act like you deserve it. And you can only do that by changing your self-perception, your self-identity, the way you look at yourself, and that way it will change the way you look at the world. Let's say you change your self-identity from someone who's just like a lazy ass, right? You don't do nothing. You just sit on the couch every single day, eat whatever you want, watch whatever you want. Change that to someone who identifies as an athlete. Even if you're not a professional athlete, bro. Like, I go to the gym and I identify myself. When I step into the gym, I identify myself as an athlete. When I step in the kitchen, I also identify myself as an athlete. And that makes me way less prone to actually binge eating, to eating processed foods. Like, I literally eat whole foods, and I'm so interested in health and diet and macros and whatever it might be, right? Just because I identify as an athlete. And so I'm interested in subjects when it comes to health, even like microplastics and stuff. I'm like, I need to take care of my diet. And so if you change your self-identity to someone who's an athlete, that way whenever you step into the kitchen, what are you really going to eat? Are you going to eat that cake? Are you going to eat that cereal with 50 ingredients? I don't know. Are you? You might, but you're going to be less prone. But the thing is, you can't change it overnight. You also need to change by implementing the steps that correspond to that self-identity, one at a time. I'm not telling you go like fully 180, go from like a terrible diet to a perfect diet with no processed foods. I'm not saying to do that. Sure, it would be nice if that was the end goal, but you can't realistically change that in one day. And so it all starts with the self-identity. If you're someone who identifies himself as a religious person, as a good Muslim, as a good Christian, are you really gonna watch as much porn as if you were someone who just identifies as an atheist, or someone who doesn't deserve God's love, doesn't deserve heaven, doesn't deserve anything, right? And sure, none of us actually deserve heaven. But I'm saying, if you identified as a good religious person, then you would actually do less of the degenerate stuff. You would hurt less people. You would hook up less. You would drink less. You would smoke less. Stuff like this can even like decrease the likelihood of like you committing a crime, you like killing someone. And that sounds absurd, but do you not see all the shootings and all the murders that are happening in the world? And especially in the West, because people there have been dissociating themselves from religion. We're becoming more secular. And so if you don't identify as a religious person, then you're going to be more prone to doing these type of criminal activities. If you identify as a good student, as a smart person, as an intellectual, then you're going to be more likely to actually spend more time studying, spend more time actually caring about your academics. Not even in school, but outside of school, you're going to read books, you're going to watch podcasts. Less of those shows, more of the podcasts. Less music in the car, more podcasts, more audiobooks. Even if you're not at the result that you want to be at, even if you're not at that 4.0 GPA, even if you're not at that 3-plate bench or whatever it might be, see yourself as the athlete. See yourself as the bodybuilder. See yourself as the smart student. Because then it will be more likely that you do the actions of the smart student. You'll do the actions of the bodybuilder. You see what I'm trying to say? Is you don't have to be the person in order to identify yourself as that person. If you just adopt that mindset, then you will be more likely to do the actions of that identity. Number 2, you need to eliminate your negative thoughts. And so when you step in front of the mirror and you just hear yourself internally say, damn, bro, you look so ugly, man. You look so fat, bro. What's the point of cutting, bro? The cutting's not doing anything, bro. Like, you're never going to lose weight. You're not capable of getting a six-pack. You're not capable of being 10% body fat, right? If you enter an exam and your thought is, oh, this is going to go horrible, man. I'm not even ready, bro. It's like, I'm not even smart, but what's the point? But what you need to do to eliminate the negative thoughts is always be conscious of your unconscious, right? And so instead of making all these thoughts unconscious, where you don't even think about it, it's automatic, it just emits itself into your brain. How about you consciously like become aware of these thoughts? And so as soon as you notice, it's like, oh, I'm so ugly. It's like straight away just tackle that. I'm like, why am I ugly? Like, keep questioning why. Why am I ugly? Because you're fat. Why am I fat? Because I'm not taking care of my diet as much as I should be. Why am I not doing that? Because I'm not disciplined enough. Why are you not disciplined enough? Because I don't see myself as disciplined enough. So it comes back to your identity. And it's like, what can I do about this? Become more disciplined. Take care of my diet more. And so it's not just, oh, I'm ugly and you leave it at that. But it's like, okay, I need to take my diet more seriously. When you go into an exam and you're like, oh, I'm not smart enough and this is going to go horrible. Why is it going to go horrible? Because I'm not smart enough. Why am I not smart enough? Because my friends used, or my teacher told me so when I was 7 years old. See, it all goes back to the childhood experiences. Or like my parents would always yell at me when I was studying, so I didn't think I was smart enough. And it's like, reverse engineer, what can I do about this? Study more. Maybe get tutoring. Maybe watch more videos outside of just school content. And that way you will improve your skills in these subjects, right? And so that way you're tackling the root problem so that you don't get the negative thoughts in the first place. And basically when you do that, number 3 is you replace the thoughts with positive thoughts. And the way you do that is by affirmations. And it sounds stupid. It doesn't sound like something that's actually applicable, something that actually works and actually has um, actual value and actual results. So this is basically how it happens. Let's say you're gonna go shower, right? And you take off your clothes, you see your physique, and it's like, damn, I look good today. Even if you don't like sincerely believe that you look good today, or you just look the same as usual, you just say that regardless. It's like, damn, I look big today. Or if you're trying to lose weight, you're like, yo, I'm looking lean today, right? You're gonna go into an exam, it's like, yo, I'm so ready, bro. This is gonna go really great. Even if you're not like fully ready, even if you don't believe that you're ready, even if you just like wake up and you don't think you look good that day, it's like, yo, I look good today, bro. Like, I'm looking so fresh, man. It's gonna be a great day. And bro, all of this will not just instill positive thoughts about yourself in your brain, but it will also just increase the gratitude you feel for yourself and the world in general. And because if you're always positive, then you can easily see more gratitude, not in just like the way you look or the way you feel, but also just around the world. It's like you see that the weather is nice today, and when you leave your house, and it's like crisp breeze and it feels nice, and the sky's clear, and you actually like get an appreciation for that. Because if you're always just in your head, you're like, man, I'm so fat, man, I'm so ugly, man, I don't want to even be outside. It's like, are you really gonna like appreciate something as the weather, or the way that the moon looks today, right? Like stuff like that, you won't really appreciate or recognize until you're content with yourself. Once you're content with yourself, then you can actually look outside of you and appreciate the things in your life, the things that God created, right? And so implementing all these 3 steps will change your world perspective as well. Because think about it. When, for example, you identify yourself as an athlete, then you're going to change your mindset on stuff like food, where it's like, for food, instead of pleasure, food is for fuel. And for example, when you think about going to the gym and exercising, it's like, I'm doing this not just to look good, but also just so I can be a healthy person, so I can help others with my strength, and also so I can play with my children even when I'm 80 years old. It's not like the other fathers where it's like they can't play with their children even when their children are like as little as 5 years old, just because they didn't take care of their health. You can live longer and see your children grow, and so they can see you grow and actually have a father figure in their life. And so you want to study as well, because you want to gain knowledge so that you can help others around you with your knowledge, right? And so you can also pass down the knowledge to your children, give them advice, and actually have a positive impact on the world. And it's like making money, not just so you can have a Ferrari, not just so that you can flex your money on others and online, but also so that you can provide for your family right now, retire your parents, help your siblings, but also provide comfortably for your future family if you have one, right? And so all these things, if you have the proper beliefs, the proper unconscious brain, you will not just have a positive perspective on yourself, but just the whole world in general. And people just love spending time with a positive person. And so you will attract a better network of friends, um, even like a wife, and you will even make better quality children as well, just because of the way that you are. And so take these steps seriously. When I had this conversation with my friend, I knew I had to make a video, because we had such a valuable conversation, and I just didn't want you guys to miss out on it. As soon as we had this conversation, like the first thing that popped into my brain is, I need to give him this one book, and it was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And so if any of you are curious about where I'm getting all these ideas from, like what I'm preaching today, it's basically, a lot of it is from Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And when I read that book, I really was more interested in the unconscious brain, the brain in general, and how we emit thoughts, how we think, how we believe. And he just really explains it really well in a way that really resonated with me and helped me actually take action. And so make sure to actually take these 3 steps seriously. Read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Even if it's just the audiobook, it will actually benefit you. Even if it's just one idea that you implement from that book, it will change your life. Take care, lads. Peace.